What's going on, guys, and welcome back to GM Week with your 4-0 Quebec Nordiques. In the last video, we did the draft, the re-sign stage, had some trouble with Mitch Marner putting pen to paper, but we finally got a deal done. Raymond Stastny and Mitch Marner. This is going to be a special year. I'm feeling it. We got King Arthur. He's averaging a goal per game early on in the season. Matty Barzal and the Milkman having another fantastic start. So I'm happy with how everything's going. I'm very happy. Now, I am recording this back to back, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to read your guys' comments. So this will be, if everything goes as planned, should be the Friday video. GM Week gets a little bit confusing, but like I said in the last video, we are going to be looking around the National Hockey League in this episode. I said we'll get some simulation done. I'm not 100% sure on how much we're going to get done because I don't want to get a whole bunch done here because I kind of have it planned out that our Stanley Cup parade will be on Saturday or Sunday, preferably Sunday. I'm planning it. I'm thinking we're going to go deep this year. We have the team to do it. We just dismantled the Leafs 12-3. So we will get some simulation done, but this is going to be more of a chill video. Friday after work, get a snack after school, whatever, kick back, make some popcorn, get some dill pickle seasoning on there, whatever you like, and let's look around the NHL. So obviously we added like 52 created players or something crazy. So obviously the talent around the NHL is ridiculous right now. So just in case you're just stopping by, you haven't been paying attention to the actual series itself, here is our team. So what I did is I went ahead and created 32 players for the NHL teams, and they were some sort of a bloodline created with that team. So for example, I gave Anaheim a guy named Kyle Correa, so on and so forth. We got, for Quebec, obviously the Stastny name was huge. He's the only created player, but here's how our team is looking. Now let's start with the Anaheim Ducks and let's move on throughout the course of the NHL. I can't promise this video is going to be super long, but I think it is important because we are in year number 6 here going into 2024-2025. We should be seeing a lot of new faces in the NHL, guys who were young at the start like Isaac Lundstrom. They're still pretty young, but 24, 25, all these young kids are going to be solid NHL players now, and I want you guys to rank the best and the worst teams in the comments down below. But right away, Kyle Correa, Sam Steele, and Nick Ritchie. Not a bad lineup, that's for sure. I want to stop on all of the created players and just quickly have a look here. I want to see who has the most points out of every single created player. So I'm going to be writing it down as we go, but Kyle Correa, 536 points, multiple 70-plus goal years. The guy's a freak. As for the defense for the Anaheim Ducks, it's definitely not as good as their offense. And is John Gibson still between the pipes? He is, 89 overall, still a very legitimate NHL goalie. And as for the Desert Dogs, Arizona, they still have their created player, Nick Doan. They needed a goalie in a bad way. Here he is. Here are his stats. 172, 120 with 11 shutouts. Not bad. A pretty solid 10D. Let's see what the team around Mr. Doan is looking like. As for offense, Clayton Keller, Paul Vincenzo, he was the first overall pick in year number 1. Obviously a created player. Fisher, Schmaltz. So they basically kept their core intact. You can see Clayton Keller. They got Nick Schmaltz. They got Fisher. Barrett Hayton hasn't really turned out to the player they've hoped, but they've kind of kept their core intact. They still have OEL. They do. OEL and Jacob Chychrun. Victor Soderstrom's turning into a nice young D. Jacob Slavin, we were looking at him in free agency. Troy Stetcher and Jared Spurgeon. Not a bad team at all. Moving on to Boston, Charlie McAvoy and Nathan Orr. Obviously, you have to add the Orr name, and he's a steady 25, 30 goal guy, 60 to 70 points a year. He's pretty damn good. Him and Charlie McAvoy, that is a nasty 1-2 punch. Look at their offense here. William Nylander, so after he was traded like a million different times within the course of a week, I think he was dealt, you can see here, Toronto, New York, New Jersey, and then Boston. This all happened within like a week. It was ridiculous, but he's found a good home here in Boston. I know Leaf fans are going to hate that. David Krejci and David Pasternak, so they're really needing a center down the middle. Maybe moving Philip Forsberg Klingberg playing on your third line, move him for a top line center, but hey, that's just me. And don't play this guy, 82 overall, on the second line. You have two very suitable second liners here on the third line. I don't know what they're doing down there in Boston. I have no idea. Is Rask still around? He's not. Matt Murray is the man between the pipes in Beantown. Buffalo, all right, they still have their created player, Alexander Hasek, obviously the Dominator. We had to have Hasek in there, and he's been pretty steady. Not quite as flashy as Nick Doan, but still pretty good, 157 and 36. David Riddick is the backup. As for their offense, should be led by Jack Eichel, 91 overall. That's actually pretty low. I've seen Eichel consistently be like 96, 97, 93 at least, but that's interesting. 27 years old, only 91. I mean, only 91 is pretty damn good, but Sam Reinhart and Victor Olofsson, nice. Casey Middlestat, Cole Perfetti left off the World Junior team, but it doesn't matter. They got gold anyways. I really thought he was going to be a lock for that team, though. But Jeff Skinner, Andreas Janssen, Tyler Johnson, Brendan Saad, a very good third line, and then Dylan Cousins on the fourth line. You're ruining this guy. Play him in your top six. I guess you can't really. Yeah, I would probably find a way to play him at least in your top nine. You're kind of wasting him on the fourth line there. Rasmus Dahlin, Ristolainen, Yoki Haru, Nikita Kazanov, what a Russian. He was picked second overall in 2019. Luke Green, there you go. So that's a pretty decent team there in Buffalo. Right now, I think Anaheim has the best team, just quickly looking at it. Another goalie, I know there's a lot early on here, Quinn Bossy. Now, this was a goalie that was actually moved from the New York Islanders. He played like crap. The team in front of him sucked after they got rid of Matthew Barzal. Everything just imploded. 10 and 40, just terrible. But since coming over to Carolina, he's been a legitimate starting goalie, starting to turn his career around. And now, I admitted it at the start, I should have made Quinn Bossy a forward or a defenseman for the New York Islanders because they had some pretty good goalies, but so I am glad that he did get moved, but there he is over in Carolina. I'm interested to see what their team is looking like over there in Long Island now. No Quinn Bossy, they got no Matthew Barzal, thanks by the way. Moving on to their offense here, Svechnikov, Martin Nikash, and then Anthony Ward, obviously the Cam Ward name, so they have two franchise created players here. I know he had a couple of 60-goal years. Yeah, there they are. So 452. That still doesn't beat out Kyle Correa. Correa has been the best player so far, but not a bad start to the career here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Couple of 60-goal years, looking like Pavel Bure, but that's a nasty first line, a nasty second line as well, and it's actually a pretty decent bottom six as well. So pretty good team here in Carolina. Torrey Krug, Jake Bean, Tyson Berry. Ooh, you have Erica Branson. What are you doing? Honestly, I still think Anaheim takes the cake right now. Oh, wow. They got Werenski, Pietrangelo, and Seth Jones. Damn, that's a nasty three-headed monster there on the back end. Kind of falls off with these guys, but I mean, I assume they're paying these guys through the roof. 7.1 for Zach Werenski. Pietrangelo's making 10.4, almost 10.5. Seth Jones is actually such a steal. 6.4, what a deal. How's their offense looking? They do have a created goalie, I believe. They got Josh Anderson, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Kyle Palmieri, the Teenage Ninja Hurdle, so their team has changed dramatically on the offense. Holy. The only original Columbus Blue Jackets I see here are Josh Anderson, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Alexander Texier, and then the rest are either traded or free agency, so they've changed quite a bit. And then their goaltender should be Cooper Nash. There he is, obviously, with Korpisalo as the backup, but 25 years old, medium franchise tendy. How's his career looking like? He's 172 and 129, so not bad. Averages about 68 starts a year, so close to 69, but not bad at all. The Calgary Flames, another goalie. I know everyone seems to be a goalie here, but I think after Jake Iginla, it pretty much drops off. I think there's only one or two goalies left, but Jake Iginla, 92 overall, medium franchise, 178 and 120. He's been pretty damn good as well for Calgary, and they definitely needed a goalie, a legitimate goalie, not like David Riddick or anything. I'm not saying he's not a legitimate goalie, but a young stud, up-and-coming goaltending prospect, because Tyler Parsons never gets good for some reason, but Johnny Boudreau, Sean Monahan, and Jason Zucker. So there's a big addition. Elias Lindholm, Dylan Dubé, Matty Tkachuk, who's only an 86 overall, which is kind of interesting. I guess Jason Zucker kind of took over his spot on the first line. Nygaard, Pajot, and Richard Panik, Zach Aston Reese, Pavolier, and Sam Bennett. It's not bad. Defensively is pretty damn good, pretty well-rounded. TJ Brody, Noah Hannafin, Travis Hamonic still around there, Valimaki's up there, Jake Muzzin, and Ethan Bear. So Ethan Bear goes from Edmonton to Calgary. Going to Chicago, they have Makita on the back end. Look at this guy, Mika Makita. He has, wow, actually scores more goals than I thought. I think I made the defenseman a little bit too good, to be honest with you. A little bit too good. They score a lot of goals, like 30 goals a year for a defenseman. It's a little bit crazy, but he's a very steady 94 overall created player. Obviously, with Keith and Seabrook on the way out, I had to give them a stud defenseman. Adam Fox, Vince Dunn, Michael Kempney, Madison Bowie, and Neil Pionk. Not terrible, not terrible. Offensively, so the days of Kane and Taze are almost gone. Taze is a fourth liner, but we got Brandon Pierlini, Quinton Byfield, who was drafted 5th overall in 2020. So Chicago tanked a little bit, and he's actually had a pretty good start to his career. After a 71-point campaign, he's starting to be a legitimate first-line center, 90 overall, 6'5", 236. Guy is a unit. Patrick Kane still killing it, even though he's 35. Alex Nylander, Alex DeBrincat, and Dylan Strome. Not a bad lineup at all. They got the Erie Otter connection right here with Dylan Strome and ADB. They got Omar Gormley. No, not Oscar Gormley. This guy was taken 3rd overall in 2022. I remember that. This is coming into year 3 as an NHLer for the young kid. Kirby Doc as an 88 on the 3rd line. And then, wow, they're actually pretty deep. This could be up there. Does this beat the Anaheim Ducks? Let me know. So we already looked at their defense. And who do they have between the pipes? Corey Crawford's all gone. It's Thatcher Demko going to Chicago. Is that allowed? A Vancouver Canuck going to Chicago? Things you hate to see. All right, looking at the Colorado Avalanche now, they're interesting because you can notice they had a created player, Zane Sakic. They had a sick 93 or 94 overall center. They traded him away, and they also don't have Nathan McKinnon. They let him walk to free agency. So, I mean, they still have Lars Limbeck, who is a guy who I've wanted for a long time, but he's always kind of the one that got away, but I'm happy with our team right now. Mikko, Lars Limbeck, and Gabriel Landeskog, Yanni Gord, Tyson Jost, and Ryan Dzingel. Not a bad offensive makeup here for Colorado. I think I prefer them with Nathan McKinnon, but moving on to the defense here, Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Bowen Byram, Timmins, Pedersen, and then obviously Felix Brodeur. He was actually a Montreal Canadian for one game. If you go back a few episodes ago, there was a crazy influx of trades, and yeah, I'm not going to go there because it'll just make me upset because the game's so stupid and broken. But if you want to see me question my sanity, go watch the video a couple of videos ago where there was crazy trades. And then between the pipes, who do they have? They got Braden Holtby and Aaron Dell. So Holtby was a free agency acquisition. Obviously, he left Washington, I think, last year. Yep, left the Caps last year. And now he's moving on to the Mile High City here in Denver. Moving on to the Dallas Stars. Okay, Tristan Jarry and Ben Bishop. So they're going with a young kid, Tristan Jarry, and Ben Bishop's career is almost done. Who's their creative player? Oh, right, it's Vince Medano. Right, 94 overall. This guy is very, very good. 465 and 414. One more goal for 200 in his young career. All these guys should be 25 years old, and they're going to be dominant for the next 10 years, that's for sure. But steady 40-goal guy for Dallas, 94 overall with Seguin and Ben. They also have Claude Giroux, who they signed in free agency, Rupe Hintz, and Tyler Toffoli. They got Francisco Pinelli. What a name. This guy Italian, Canadian Italian. All right, he was drafted 14th overall, 21 years old. Jimmy Vesey, JT Compher. So there's their creative player, Vince Medano. They obviously didn't need a young defenseman because they're full of them. Klingberg, Heiskanen, Julius Honka. Their defense isn't that great. The bottom pairing is just meh, but Heiskanen and Klingberg are obviously nasty, and we already looked at their goaltenders. Moving on to the Detroit Red Wings. Jordan Binnington takes his Stanley Cup talents to the Wings after winning with the Blues. He is the starter, and then who are they? And then their created player, I believe, is a defenseman, but they got Yasukazu in the draft. Obviously, he is a created player straight out of Japan. How's he looking? 6'5", 243. I think a lot of people don't know how big this Japanese guy is. He is a unit. Back-to-back 50-goal years. Looking for another 50-goal year as well. Kiyomi Yasukazu. Dylan Larkin and Svechnikov, not bad. Not that Svechnikov, the other Svechnikov, his older brother. Philip Zadina, who had probably played there, but whatever. They got Matthew Savoy and then Anthony Mantha, so their top 6 is actually nasty. Eller, Bertuzzi, Brendan Gallagher on the 4th line. Okay. Same with Michael Rasmussen. 4th liners? I'm not sure about that. Defensively, looking at their created player, Igor Fedorov, 96 overall. It's kind of cool to see some created players will be like 93, some will be 91, and guys like Igor Fedorov will be 96. Oh my god. 417 and 414, so just over a point per game. A steady 80-point guy for his entire career. I made him nasty. I remember that. He was gross. And then Larry Kincaid, what a name. 4th overall in 2021. He is a two-way defenseman. A nice compliment there to a very offensive guy in Igor Fedorov. Ryan Murray, Jens Chalowski, Moritz Seider, who unfortunately hasn't panned out, and then Colin Miller. And then between the pipes, we already looked at it. That's right, Jordan Binnington. The Edmonton Oilers, okay, Robin Lehner and Colton Point. Still looking for a goalie here. That seems to be the story of Connor McDavid's career. Get this guy someone between the pipes. All right, so Kirk Bolesky, he's a 3rd liner playing with McDavid. Okay, Edmonton. Okay, explain to me how you think this is going to work. Well, he does have 8 points in 4 games, so I guess it is working, but kind of cool to see a 4th liner jump up and play with McDavid and Yamamoto. So Connor McDavid, here's how he's panning out. I tried to give him some defensive support. You're going to see it here, but he's basically been a 100-point player for his entire career, closing in on 900 points in just over 700 games. Not bad at all. Leon Draisaitl, JVR, 35 years old, and Michael Backlund, Pontus Aberg, Marco Rossi, Chase Stillman. They got a pretty good team. I was hoping that would be Justin Williams and he'd be like 50 years old, but Josh Williams, there you go. And defensively, of course, Eric Gretzky. This guy should be putting up a ton of points. 496 and 414. Yeah, he's a beast. I remember him just jumping out of the gate. 127 points, won the Art Ross in year number 2. He's a beast, and their defense looks pretty damn good around Mr. Gretzky there. Not bad, but still don't have a tendy. I mean, Lehner's okay, but it's definitely not the starter you need with a team like that. All right, Florida. They're still paying Sergei Bobrovsky a ton of money, and how has he actually performed? Is he worth the over $10 million per year? Well, he's been pretty damn good, actually, since we've started this simulation. How many years left? 1 year left at 9.8, so this is the last year of his giant contract. Malcolm Subban as the backup, and their creative player, I believe, was Jokinen. He's a defenseman, maybe. I think he's a defenseman. I think so. We'll check after. But Huberto Barkov and Felix Pox. Oh my God! Cover your nose. Holy crap! This guy just absolutely reeks. But the stinkiest guy to ever lace up the skates, Felix Pox. Yeah, he's gross. He's nasty, but he's a very good hockey player. He's playing over here in Florida with Barkov and Huberdeau, Lakatanov, Vinny Trocheck, and Owen Tippett. Not a bad team. Not bad at all. Defensively, there it is. Jokinen. Timu Jokinen, the fantastic Finn. Been pretty damn good there in Florida. Not quite a point per game, but pretty damn close. 30 goals as a D-man. I wish I would have made their shooting categories not quite as good, but there's the rest of their D, Aaron Ekblad, and then Bobrovsky between the pipes. The LA Kings, they do have a young goalie, Topi Nokalakanakananen. Obviously, he's a Finn. There he is. He's an Inanen. Topi between the pipes with Stuart Skinner as the backup. And their creative player, Nathan McKinnon. That's right. I forgot he went to LA. Their creative player is a defenseman, I believe, Robitaille. But I remember this guy as well, Kirk Heward. We were going to move up to to select him in the draft, but we decided not to, and maybe it's for the best. He's just been okay in LA. I feel like playing with Nathan McKinnon, though, you should probably be putting up some more points, but they signed him to an $11.4 million contract. Toivu Teravainen, Niederreiter, Kerfoot, Johansson, so no real original LA Kings here. I see Adrian Kempe, Kopitar, Anderson Dolan, and that's it. So it looks like 3 original LA Kings. So their team has changed quite a bit, but Kopi still hanging on, 37 years old, listed as a 4th liner. He's got 2 goals in 4 games. This should probably be his last year, but who knows? 6'3", 224, that guy can run forever. They still have Drew Doughty. They got Korskin in here, who's a nice young and up-and-coming defenseman, and Tommy Robitaille. He is their created player. The Robitaille name lives on in LA. He's been just okay. I mean, considering if you put him up to like Igor Fedorov, he's just been okay, but still putting up some very good numbers as a defenseman. Him and Drew Doughty, it's pretty nasty. The Minnesota Wild, so Jacob Markstrom, he moved around a little bit. He was on Buffalo, now he's on Minnesota. They have themselves a pretty decent starting goalie, even though he's getting up there in age, and then Hunter Jones as the backup. Looking at the offense here, and there's their created player, Samuel Bugard. I could have went a few different ways here. I could have went with Gabrick or Pierre-Marc Bouchard, I guess would have been a stretch, or I could have went with a goalie like Manny Fernandez, but I decided to pay respects to the boogeyman, and he obviously made a huge imprint in Minnesota. Derek Bugard unfortunately passed away, so Samuel Bugard, there you go. I made him smaller than the boogeyman, obviously, but a multiple 50-goal scorer, 422 and 414. Not bad at all. He's got 5 assists in 4 games starting off the year. He's playing with Riley Smith. Yeah, their offense isn't great. I'd probably move up this McAllister kid, to be honest with you, former top 10 pick. I'd probably give him the minutes over Riley Smith, but they got a couple of ex-Vegas Golden Knights here in Carlson and Smith, and another ex-player, Brendan Lemieux, for your Quebec Nordiques. Defensively, Henry Robertson, Matt Dumba, Vatanen, Tim Duncan, no, it's Tyler Duncan. He was drafted pretty high, though, 5th overall in 2023. They also got Luke Hughes. Now, we were really high on this Luke Hughes kid. I really wanted him. Obviously, still very young in his career, but Luke Hughes, the youngest brother of Jack and Quinn. There he is. He's playing with Philip Johansson, but this is a guy, Henry Robertson, who was a created player. He was drafted 2nd overall. Look at his puck skills, 99 across the board. He's the defensive Patrick Kane. He's got hands for days, but he doesn't score a lot of goals, but he's a very good, well-rounded defenseman. Ooh, a career minus 126. That's really bad. Honestly, I still think the best team is probably the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, Carolina was okay. Chicago was pretty damn good as well. Kirby Dach on the 3rd line. But I don't know. Anaheim looks pretty nasty at this point. Now, this is a team, obviously, our biggest rival, the Montreal Canadiens, and they suck. They finished in the bottom last year. They're paying 78 overall carry price, $10.5 million. Things you hate to see. Hunter Sandlak, he is the starter, it looks like, 80 overall. Oh boy, times are tough here in Montreal, but offensively they look nasty. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Max Lafleur, he is gross. He's very good. Struggled last year, but the team was really bad, so that's understandable. Has never cracked 100 points, but 417 and 414, he is over a point per game, and they also went out and got John Tavares. So Tavares was a Leaf, and now he is a Hab. Close your eyes, Toronto fans. I know you don't want to see this. Donskoy, Jesse Puljujarvi, all right. So we ended up trading Puljujarvi. It was basically 1-for-1 for Nick Suzuki. Puljujarvi's went nowhere fast, and Nick Suzuki is currently leading our team in scoring. So that trade definitely worked out for us. This is the guy that was just drafted 1st overall, Taylor Ricci. He has 1 assist in 4 games. Maybe might not be ready for the NHL. I mean, he's probably ready for the NHL, but it might not hurt to have a year in the American Hockey League. He's playing with the Seattle Storm Bear legend, Ryan Poehling. with Victor Ovechkin, no, not Alex. Defensively, Orlov, Larson. So Adam Larson goes to the Montreal Canadiens. All right. He was a defenseman for us for the last 5 years, actually. We ended up picking him in the expansion draft. But Cale Fleury and then Victor Mete, and then we obviously saw their goaltenders. Yeah, not great. And they have 80 overall medium elite Tim Stützle scratched. Why are you doing this? Why? Why are you not playing him here? Oh boy, I will never understand that. That's dumb. And Montreal definitely needs a goaltender, that's for sure. New Jersey, this is going to be an interesting one. Mackenzie Blackwood and Alex Nedeljkovic, okay. They could use a starter, but Blackwood's not terrible. Now this could be the best team in the league for sure. Oh my god, look at their offense. Hall, Zane Sakic, who's 6'8", 248. He's an absolute unit, and he was the one who was traded, which was ridiculous, but you can see here, went from Colorado to New Jersey. He's over a point per game in his career, over a point per game with the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, he's crazy. 6'8", 248. Imagine this line in real life. Hughes, Zane Sakic, and Taylor Hall. Honestly, depending on what their defense looks like, they have the best team in all of hockey. Nikita Gusev, Nico Hischier, and Timo Meier. I'd probably switch Aatu Räty with Nikita Gusev, but that's just me. I mean, even like their third line is just gross. They got, was this guy just drafted, I think? Yeah, he was just drafted 4th overall, so he really made an impact, made the team hashtag straight out of camp. Then they got Shane Wright, who is a nasty prospect. He's projected to be the #1 pick in 2022. He got exceptional player status. I think he plays for Kingston in the OHL. I could be thinking of someone else. No, I'm right. There he is. Kingston, obviously he's super, super young still, but scouted to be the next big piece in the NHL. Jesper Boquist, defensively, okay, it's not great. That's going to bring their team grade a little bit down, but still, yeah, a very, very sick offensive team. They have the best offense I've seen so far. Nashville Predators, UC Saros. All right, so he was our goalie for quite a few years, and then we sent him back to his original team. We picked him up in the expansion draft, as you can see here, and then we sent him back to Nashville. I forget what we got for him. Actually, I can check the Quebec Nordiques Bible. Give me a second. We ended up trading UC Saros for basically Zach Stringer, who's a pretty good young prospect. I think he's 74 overall now. You can see here on our little Quebec Nordiques Bible, we traded him for basically 3 players, but it was mostly for Zach Stringer. Shout out to Trevor Steenberg for making the Quebec Nordiques Bible, link in the description. Looking at their offense here, they have Legwand, who I didn't expect him to be this good. I didn't make him that great, but he just really took off. He should be, I was going to say he should be close to 500 points after last year. He's 507, so he's got the second most points as a created player. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, he's definitely nasty. He's paired up with Ryan Johansson and Eli Tolvanen. They got Tyler Ennis, okay, interesting, Matt Duchene, and then Kim Seidenberg, who was a franchise player taken a few years ago, 50 goals last year after struggling in his rookie year. Yeah, he's the real deal. 1st overall. He's not a created player. He was randomly generated, but medium franchise. 2 years ago, he was drafted. They got Paul Stastny here coming to the end of his career. Roman Josi, Dante Fabro, Rasmus Anderson, who just signed a big ticket today, actually. Not a bad team. Their offense is definitely carrying them, but still pretty sick, and that Legwand guy is nasty. The New York Islanders, they don't have a goalie. Things you hate to see. You did have Quinn Bossy, but you shipped him away. I'm interested to see if they have some of the pieces that they offered us for Matthew Barzal. Let's have a look here. So Jonathan Drouin, Lucas Yager. Now, yes, he was a created player a few years ago. Here's how his start to his NHL career is looking. Almost a point per game, 25 points off a point per game pace. There's 2 Yagers out there. You'll see another one in a few minutes, but 91 overall. We traded him Ryan McDonough and some other pieces, and Ryan McDonough is still a piece of that back end. Their defense is actually very, very good. Dougie Hamilton, PK Subban, who's still really good at 35, which is crazy, but their team's all right. It's nothing super crazy. Unfortunately, they don't have one of those franchise players because they ended up trading their goalie, but they got Lucas Yager, so that's not bad. The Yager bloodline lives lives on in the NHL. All right, moving on to the New York Rangers. They also don't have a goalie. They could use a tendy. Let's see what they're looking like. Artemi Panarin, Philip Heidel, and Capo Caco. Not bad. Zach Ramsey, Anton Lundell, and JT Miller goes back to the team that drafted him. Matt Nieto, Elias Anderson still there, even though he requested a trade. Vashislav Emelin, all right. Gunler, Forsbacka Carlson, and Lindbaum. There you go. Oscar Strong. Jacob Trouba, we got Hayden Fleury, Ryan Lindgren, Robertson, and Lucas Hijack. But here's the created player, Calvin Messier. We don't like Messier here, but 269 and 214. Not bad at all. There's their created player. Now, I know the Habs have been our nemesis, but Ottawa is a very close to, if not a 1B situation. I hate the Ottawa Senators. They always seem to just have that upper edge on us. They kicked us out of the postseason a couple of years ago, and they've been a pain in my ass ever since. Frederik Andersen is the starting goalie, goes from a Leaf to a Sen, and let's have a look at their team because they have a nasty one. Brady Tkachuk, Bo Alfredson, and Valerie Chubby-Chubasov. So just to remind you here, Kyle Correa is currently leading in points for a created player. He has 536 points, 311 goals, and 225 assists. If anyone's going to beat it, it's going to be Bo Alfredson, and he does beat it. He has 559. He's had 50 goals every single year. He was kind of like Legwand. I didn't make him super good, but for some reason he just took off. What a beast. Kyle Correa still has the most goals scored at 311. He's had 279 goal years, but I think Alfredson is just the complete package. He is a beast. And it obviously helps he's playing with Valerie Chubby-Chubasov, the Saskatchewan Stag legend, 456 and 414. A very good start to his career. Brown, White, Tierney, Ferland, Brown, Abramov. They have a pretty good team. And Adam Lowry, oh my God, imagine Adam Lowry, you bastard. He goes from Quebec being a hater of the Senators to playing for the Senators. And they're not even playing him right. He has 90 faceoffs. He should be taking draws. That's high on my list of things you hate to see. Hot Sam Bacho, Thomas Chabot, and Eric Brandstrom, Zadorov, Gustafson. Not bad at all. We already saw their goalies. Moving on to the Philadelphia Flyers. They got Kata between the pipes. Shout out to Spittin' Chicklets for the reference. Hope you all got that. Johnny Lindros, who I made him specifically really good because he's so small. We'll have a look at him in a couple minutes, but Bracco, Voracek, Nichushkin, Granlund, Patrick. I'd probably play Hayes in the top 6, but again, that's just me. Pretty decent squad, not bad. Let's have a look at Johnny Lindros' career. 418 and 414, a steady 40-goal, 90-point guy, 25 years old, still very young, but I made him the exact opposite of Eric Lindros, 5'7", 175. Defensively, they got Ghost and Provorov, basically the exact same thing. Travis Sanheim, Carlo is new, and then obviously Kata between the pipes. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they got this guy as a backup who is a Canucks draft pick, fun fact of the day, and then James Reimer, 36-year-old James Reimer is the starting goalie. All right. So this was the best line in hockey last year. Tatar, Crosby, and Cahoon all had over 100 points, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, he was actually so close. He had 98 as a 33-year-old, but Crosby, 37 years old, had over 60 goals and 115 points. Almost a career high for points, but definitely a career high for Geno's, closing in on 1,700 points and 700 goals. That's crazy. And then Dominic Cahoon found a nice home in Pittsburgh. He had 111 points last year, so this line just clicks. I'd love to see what their chemistry is. It's got to be like a +5. Jake Gensel, Alex Galchenyuk, and Denis Gurianov, not bad. Danton Heinen and Rust, a pretty good third line there with Jace Howerluck. Bodker, Jankowski, and Derek Stepan. There's the creative player, Jackson Lemieux. He's obviously a beast. Actually, not as good as I thought. I thought he'd be way better, but 6'4", 222, a big dude. Number 67, that's worth noting, a little Easter egg there. Not number 66, number 67. Closing in on 200 points on his career. He's playing with Josh Manson, so a weak defensive core in Pittsburgh. They're definitely being carried by their offense. The San Jose Sharks. Evgeny Maximov. Was he a drafted guy? Ooh, low franchise. Oh no, that's right. He was, okay, that's right. I remember. He was a goalie, kind of like an Easter egg goalie that I threw in there. He started off really low. I think he was 75 overall, low franchise. So it's cool to see him grow. 84 overall for low franchise. He's the starter in San Jose with Jake Allen as the backup. I forgot about that guy. That's right. So Austin Matthews, he is the new face in San Jose. He was just a free agent, but he re-signed in San Jose after being traded there last year, which was ridiculous. But there you go. Austin Matthews, the San Jose Shark, with Ehlers and Schwartz. Evander Kane, Joe Gattenby. What a guy. If you've been around the channel, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you the backstory on Joe Gattenby. If you know, you know. If you don't know, well, unfortunately, you don't know. Absolute legend, Joe Gattenby. 269 nice points in 414. What a guy. Love me some Joe Gattenby. Paired up with Erik Karlsson. We got Ryan Merkley here, who was a talk about a potential trade in year 1 and year 2. Didn't ever end up happening, but there's the San Jose Sharks. I like that team a lot, to be honest with you. Philip Grubauer and Alexander Georgiev are between the pipes in St. Louis. Moving on to their offense here, they got Jason Hall. Okay, I remember this team. This is a nasty, nasty squad. They could rival the New Jersey Devils for the best team here. Jason Hall, yeah, he's nasty. 391 in 414. Not as good as I thought, actually. It's kind of weird because the guys that I thought would be really good, like Hull and Lemieux, all those guys, they aren't really, I mean, they're okay. They're pretty good, but guys like Alfredson and guys like Legwand, I didn't think they were going to be good, but they're unbelievable. Now, Gordy Yzerman, he was the guy number 1 overall in year number 2. Again, Gordy Yzerman, if you know, you know. If you don't know, well, unfortunately, you don't know. 337 and 332, over a point per game. And then Tarasenko, what a line. Oh, my God. Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Kyrou, and Brandon Peary. Okay. Braden Shen on the third line. Klim Kostin on the fourth. Looking at their defense here, they no longer have Alex Pietrangelo, but they got Ryan Ellis and Justin Falk. Colton Parayko still hanging around there with Jacob Larson. What a handsome fella. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning, Andre Vasilevsky, and then James Zavagetti. What a guy. Obviously, once again, if you know, you know. If you don't know, well, I'm sorry about that. You should know. Someone in the comments is going to give a breakdown of all 3 of those players, that's for sure. Looking at their offense here, yeah, they're nasty as well. Oscar Gormley, again, if you know, you know. What a beast. He has a 60-goal season under his belt, 395 in 414. He was a free agency pickup. Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Boris Kachuk, Steven Stamkos, 86 overall, 34 years old. He's starting to slow down a little bit. Yeah, they're nasty, that's for sure. Defensively, Hedman and Robert LeCavalier. I remember when I was creating LeCavalier, it was going to be St. Louis and it was going to be a forward, but I decided to give them a stud defenseman because they had so many stud forwards, but realistically, they had so many stud defensemen as well with Sergachev and Hedman, so it was kind of difficult to give them a franchise player. But Robert LeCavalier, 280 and 414, not bad at all. All right, we're flying through this here. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they finally got themselves a goalie in Philip Gustafsson from Ottawa. Now, their team's going to look a lot different, but Sammy Blais, first liner, things you love to see. How's he doing in Toronto? The Quebec-born kid, 6 points in 4 games and 25 and 34. Last year, after the trade, we got offered, basically, it was Sammy Blais and like a B prospect in exchange for Mitch Marner. So, of course, I said yes to that. I took advantage of the terrible AI, and they have no Matthews, they got no Nylander, they got Kapanen, I guess, but no Matthews, no Tavares. It's kind of crazy to see how this team fell apart. Cameron Chichu, he was involved in the huge trade that sent Matthews to San Jose. Obviously, since Chichu should be a San Jose Shark, but 5 points in 4 games. He's well over a point per game as a Maple Leaf, and almost a point per game in his career. And their defense looks quite a bit different as well. No Morgan Riley, Riley, no Jake Muzzin, but Daniel Sundin, there he is. Again, I made him really, really good, but the points just really aren't there. He's steady, he's okay, but I really thought he would be much better than he actually is. 95 overall. He's steady though, he's a defensive defenseman, so I guess it makes sense. Paired up with Rasmus Sandin, Timothy Liljegren, Jake McCabe, Dermott, and Sword. There's your Toronto Maple Leafs. The Vancouver Canucks, Mikey DiPietro, and then Daniel Tarsov. So it looks like Michael DiPietro is the man in Vancouver. Now I should mention I gave the Canucks 2 players, Johan Sedin and Oscar Sedin. Just for transparency's sake, I want everyone to know I didn't give them franchise potential. I gave them medium elite. Oh, actually, Johan has actually moved to medium franchise because I did make them medium elite. You can see here Oscar is medium elite. So I gave them 2 because I couldn't give them just Bure or Naslund or Bertuzzi. I had to keep the Sedin name going. So I gave them another set of twins, Oscar and Johan. But Horvat, Johan, and Brock, not a bad first line. Unfortunately, it looks like Pettersson hasn't reached that like superstar potential that he usually reaches, but that's probably due to Johan Sedin. So I guess that's all good. Oscar Sedin, there you go, 6'3", 211. He's a big dude, unlike the Sedin twins. But Niels Hoglander, we all know him for the lacrosse style goal. We did it twice. Adam Gaudette, not a bad squad here. I can catch myself here. I'm spending a little bit more time on Vancouver. I apologize. But Quinn Hughes, again, hasn't quite reached that super high potential that everyone thinks he has, but still a very, very good start to his young career. Not bad at all. Ole Levy, he actually turned out. Ekholm, Essa Lindell, not a bad squad in Vancouver. However, it's not that great. Okay, the Vegas Golden Knights. I know this team is stacked. Martin Jones and Tuukka Rask, 2 aging goalies, but both 85 overall. Now look at this offense. If it's as nasty as I think it is last time we checked, yep, it's pretty damn good. They got Agent C, Cedric Corey. Again, if you know, well, you know what? You should know actually, because he is an absolute unit and an absolute legend for the Seattle Storm Bears. What a guy. And a legend for the Detroit Red Wings if you go back that far. Now there's the other Yager, Trevor Yager. He is obviously the Yager twin, Trevor and Lucas Yager. There they are, both 21 years old. They've been in the NHL. This is going to be year number 4, 247 and 250, almost a point per game. Mark Stone, Marchessault, Glass, Lafreniere. They had Ovechkin, but I don't know where he went. We only have 2 more teams, so I'm wondering where he went. He could be on either Washington or Winnipeg, but Alexander Holtz, they got a very, very nice team. Defensively, there you go, Argon Bust. Okay, so again, if you know, you know. He played for Vegas, went to Minnesota, and then I guess he re-signed in Vegas, so there you go. Seems like he's comfortable in Vegas. That's understandable. Maybe he likes the slots. Shea Theodore still hanging around there in Vegas. 2 more teams left. The Winnipeg Jets, Connor Hellebuck, still the starter. Wondering if Ovechkin was traded here or signed here. Let's have a look. Kyler Kunitz, he was the first overall pick a few years ago. 35 points in his rookie year. I think he was number 1 overall. Yeah, he was. That's right. Number 1. He's playing with Troy Terry and Kyle Connor. Vasilinen, Scheifele, Patrick Laine, Dylan Gambrell, Coleman, Grabner. So Grabner still hanging around the NHL. Defensively, Howard Chuck. That's their created player. Obviously, the Howard Chuck name. Very, very good. 394 and 414. Like, I didn't think Howard Chuck would be better than Lemieux. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird, but kind of cool to see players really excel or see players kind of drop off. But he's playing with Morrissey. It's not a bad 1-2 punch. The last team we are going to go to is the Washington Capitals. Did Ovechkin go back? I don't remember him retiring. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I just had a brain fart. He did retire. I do remember that. Sorry. There's a lot going on. He didn't actually beat Gretzky's goal record. I think he was off by about 50. So he shouldn't be in the NHL. That's right. My bad. Ilya Samsonov is the starter here in Washington. He's 88 overall. He's the next big thing. And who's their creative player? I think he's a defenseman. Yeah, right. It's Bondra. But we'll get there in a minute. Kevin Fiala, Kuznetsov, Arvidsson. Looks like on their forward core, it's only Kuznetsov and Verana that are from the original Capitals. They got Zabinajad. Alexander Wenberg turned his career kind of around. And there it is. Bert Bondra. He is a beast. Yeah, he's one of the better defensemen out there. The the last D-man to score 50 goals. Unreal. Yeah, he's a monster. Obviously, Peter Bondra played in the 80s and the 90s, ripped it up. John Carlson, not bad at all, 34 years old. Pedersen, Johansson, Hobbs, and how the hell do you pronounce that? And that is everyone in the National Hockey League. So going back, just for a refresher, the most goals scored have been by Kyle Correa. He's at 311, and the most points are from Bo Alfredson at 559. So maybe in another 5 or 6 years, we'll do this again. I think that'd be kind of fun, but I think you guys want to see at least a little bit of simulation in this video because there's some people who don't like to look around the league, and that's understandable. I don't really want to wreck our 4-0 record, but we'll get maybe a month and a half done, or maybe just go up to this Washington game. We'll see. Or do we have a game against the Habs? I don't know if I want to go that far up because next video I want to get a bunch of simulation done and then move into the playoffs. But let's go here up against Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's go. Our 4-0 record on the line after we beat the Ottawa Senators in dramatic fashion. King Arthur had 2 goals late in the third to win us the game. Period number 1. And we're down by 1. Third liner Danton Heinen. So I'm glad I went around the entire league because I wouldn't have known that Danton Heinen is on the third line, but I know now. Period number 2, and it's 3-0. Okay, Jake Gensel and third liner Danton Heinen gets another one. Even though we're out shooting them, we unfortunately cannot beat, oh god, I forget who they have in net now. I just looked at like over 60 goalies. I forget. Guryanov, he scores on Askarov. Who the hell does Pittsburgh have in net? It looks like they're going to get a shutout unless I jinx it. Shutout, and there's Lemieux. I was talking shit about him, and he gets on the score sheet. Shutout, shutout, shutout. Come on, 41 saves. Oh my god, whoever they have in net deserves a round on the boys. Oh my god, who the hell do they have in net? Oh my god, that guy was like 76 overall. He was the Canucks pick. He was like not even 80 overall. He makes 46 saves. Give me a break. Well, that's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie to you. 4-1 here. Let's see if we can shake off that 5-0 loss here. Up against the 4-1 Philadelphia Flyers, a 3-0 loss. We haven't scored in 2 games. Tom Wilson wants to talk about his ice time. I knew he was gonna say that. We're just gonna go persuade here. Hopefully he agrees with me. He doesn't. Oh man. I'm going to disagree with him because he should be a third liner. He just had like 50 points. I know he's not 87 overall at heart, unfortunately. So I got to play a little bit of hardball there, but we win against Arizona Coyotes, up against Austin Matthews and the San Jose Sharks. Yep, that's right. Period number 1. Mitch Marner, let's go. All right, 2-2. Kane and Eric Howla. We get 2 goals from our back end. Nasty Nas and Hampus Lindholm. Period number 2. Okay, 4-3. Lubomir the Milkman Mahalik gets us on the board, but Austin Matthews and Anders Bjork score for them. Come on, boys. I need a big goal here. I'd love a Suzuki goal, maybe one time. Come on, tie it up. Eric Howla scores on Tucker Tynan, his second of the night. And after our hot 4-0 start, we've been losing some games here unless we get one right away. Nasty Nas with his second of the night. Come on, baby. Is that a hat trick? Do I smell a hat trick for Nasty Nas? Let's go. 4 minutes left. Come on, Mitch freaking Marner. There you go. He ties up the hockey game, says what's up to his old friend Austin Matthews. You get a goal, I can do that too. And going into overtime, Conrad Stastny gets the GWG in the extra frame. Things you love to see, coming back, getting a big 2 point. I'm going to say it a few times, like getting those 2 points early on is absolutely crucial because we saw what happened last episode when we fell apart and missed the freaking playoffs. So 7-2 up against the 6-1-2 Washington Capitals. Let's go. Bondra, Carlson, Kuznetsov, Verana. I'm familiar with your squad. I just looked at it. Period number 1. And it's 5-1. Oh boy. Sorry about that, Mrazek. Have yourself a short night. Marner, Stastny, Kaliev, the Milkman, Spike Helm, and then Evgeny Kuznetsov scores for them. This one could be a barn burner. Pack it up, go home, get this one over with. Period number 2. Okay, nothing happened. Interesting. After a 6-goal first period, nothing happens in the next 20. Could end at 5-1 here. Let's pour it on. Let's pour it on here. I want to see 8-1. Are we going to be nice and not score any more goals here? After 6 goals in the first, nothing is going to happen? Okay, Brock Nelson gets a power play goal, but I think that wait a minute, a shorthanded goal? What else are you guys going to do here? Don't fall apart. Jesper Bratt on the third line. He's a reason why I don't want to get that much simulation done, because we do have to trade him, but he gets the 6-3 goal, and that's another win in the bag. All right, so I'll go up to this Vancouver game, and then we're going to end off the simulation. I'll have a look at the team stats, all that stuff, but I don't want to go too far because, again, we are going to have to trade Jesper Bratt or keep it the way it is, just depending on how we're doing. If we're winning games, I don't see why we should change anything, and we are 11-2. Keeping the wins going, 13-2, make it 14-2. Do I see 15-2? Sorry, just 14-2. Yeah, we are on a streak right now. Oh my god. Okay, so the last game we lost was against Philly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. 14-2-0. I knew we were going to have an absolutely dominating year. So let's go here up against the Vancouver Canucks, who are 6-10, our 10-game winning streak on the line, period number 1, and it's 1-0. It's Elias Pettersson, period number 2. Okay, we tie it up. Lubomir Mahalik, that guy's been so damn good since we traded for him. Thank you very much, NYR. We are out shooting them like crazy, 32-17. Come on, boys. There you go, Mitch Marner. He's looking for 11 W's straight. He can smell it. He can smell it. Give me an insurance marker. Ryan Suzuki on the 4th line. Insurance marker. Someone. 5 minutes left. This is getting sketchy. This is getting sketchy. All right, 37 shots. Oh, my God. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any more goals, but it doesn't matter because Mitch Marner had the game winner, baby. 11 in a row. 15-2-0. That is the start I envisioned us having. That's exactly what I thought we would have here. I mean, let's keep the good times going. Let's go for 12-0 here against a really bad team in Long Island. Obviously, we're very familiar with them. They have a Yager, but they don't have a goalie. Let's go, period number 1. And it is 3-2. Okay, Jesper Bratt, Mahalik, and Lindholm, Rubtsov, and Luke Kunin score for them. Period number 2. It's a crazy one here, 4-2. Arthur Kaliev, he gets a big goal. I was about to call him Agent C. He's not Agent C, he's King Arthur. And Spike Helm gets a big goal, making it 5-2. Ryan Suzuki on the 4th line. That is another win in the bag. We're so far ahead here, the xTech jinx is not even a thing. We are extending our winning streak in a big way, 6-2. Thanks for coming. That is 12 wins in a row, looking for 13 against the LA Kings. I'm on a streak. I'm slow sim in every single game. Why not? Oh my god, 16-2-0. The boys are buzzing. Period number 1 against the Kings. It's 1-0. Nathan McKinnon, gotta watch out for that guy. Period number 2. Okay, 3-1. Conrad Stastny gets 2. 1 with 1 second left. And Lubomir Mahalik, again, he's been so damn good. We are just crushing it right now. We're being outshot, but it doesn't matter. Whoever's in net, Askarov, Tucker Tynan, does not matter. There you go. Arthur Kaliev scores on his former team, hoping he gets over 30 goals this year. Came so close last year, however, he did still win the Calder Trophy. 28 shots. That is going to be all this one wrote. Another win in the bag. I want to end off this video, but you can't leave on a heater. We could push the all-time record for wins in a row. 3-13-3. The hockey gods are making this one easy on us. Oh my god. The Colorado Avalanche. All right, let's go. I think they got Jordan Binnington between the pipes, if I remember correctly. Period number 1. Okay, 2-1. No, sorry, they have Holtby. What am I talking about? They come out, though, with a 2-1 lead. Nick Suzuki scores, but 17-7 are the shots. These guys have a terrible record, but we can't take any team for granted here. Can't take any team lightly. Period number 2. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. Conrad gets a shorty, but Landy and Gerard come through with big goals for them. Spike Helm gets us within 1, looking for 14 wins in a row, down by 1 against the worst team in the league. Come on, guys, you're better than this. Mitch Marner, come on. I know you have a goal in you. Nasty Nas, maybe. Morgan Riley, Hampus Lindholm, Spike Helm, Tom freaking Wilson, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Scores a big goal on his ex-teammate Braden Holtby, but this asshole, who the hell is this? He comes right back. Is he going to end our 13-game winning streak against the worst team in the league? Conrad, you got to pull a goal out of your ass here. Come on, let's go. Oh my god. And just because the xTech jinx is a real thing, we lose against the worst team in the league. I mean, I can't be mad. We just won 13 games straight. So that's where I'm going to end this one. Holy, what a start to the year. I can't believe we just lost to the worst team in the league, though. But I guess, you know, we took that team for granted, and it showed because we just lost. But we are currently the best team in the league, and the Avalanche actually aren't even the worst. Montreal's the worst. They have 10 points. So are the Leafs. Oh my god. I know some people are going to eat that up in the comments. All right, so here's how everything is looking here throughout the first 20 games of the regular season. Conrad, Marner, Riley, obviously just killing it. Lubomir Mahalik, Matty Barzal, Lucas Raymond, only 1 goal on the first line. Okay, interesting. Arthur Kaliev has 8 and 6. Nasty Nas has 14. Nick Suzuki with 13. That's awesome. Jesper Bratt with 11. Ryan Suzuki with 9 on the fourth line. Tom Wilson with 9. Lindholm with 8. Hoivanen, there you go. He's got 8. Spike Helm has 7, but Helm's got 6 goals. What a beauty. Having a look at the goaltenders here, let's see. Oh my god, Tucker Tynan, 7-0. Okay, there's talks about trading him, but I mean, the start with the entire team. How can you think about trading anyone right now? And James Reimer, I made fun of him, but 36 years old, starting goalie, best in the league right now. Vincenzo is well over a goal per game. He's got 22 and 19, 31 and 19. Alfredson, Goudreau, Yager, Medano, Sakic, Chubby, Bugard, and then Agent C rounds out the top scorers in the league. So thanks for watching, guys. 17-3-0. This is the start I envisioned us having. Oh my goodness. So the question goes out to you. What do we do? I'm considering, Arthur Kaliev's moved down to an 82. I mean, we could do something like this, potentially. I don't know how great that would be. Or we could do like this. It ruins the chemistry, but potentially, maybe, gives it a +1. I don't know. You guys can let me know. I'm going to put it back to the way it was. You guys can let me know, but that's kind of my thoughts. I think we need to make something happen with our third line, and Arthur Kaliev, only 82 overall. He has dropped, which is unfortunate, but thanks for watching, and once again, GM Week continues. I will see you guys tomorrow.